second lesson probably needs more time. This first lesson is really just revision from elementary school with percentages. Okay, so just I think I'll just do a few examples. I'll let you try it, and then the next lesson is much more important and more difficult. Okay, so percentages then. Right, so, oops, oh dear. And so just so you're clear, a lot of books actually say that percent equals 1 over 100. So for example, it's perfectly fine to say that this is the same as this, it's the same as this. So it's like the percent symbol represents 0.01. Okay, and that's just something to be careful about, because this and this, they're not the same. So just be careful about that, firstly. And also be careful about this as well. Don't worry. Yep. Percentage point increase and percentage increase. They're different. I'll show you how they're different. So, a percentage point increase, let's say we have, I don't know, I'll give an example, try and think of something from business, for example. So if you have a profit of 10%, a percentage point increase of 10% and percentage increase of 10%. So profit of 10%, percentage point increase of 10% means it becomes 20. That you just add 10 on. But a percentage increase of 10% means that 10% becomes 11%. You add on 1/10 instead of 10 points. So this one here was plus 10%, whereas this one here was plus 1/10. No, this is just my example. Can you see the difference between percentage point and percentage increase? It's something you need to be very careful about when you're reading a question. So, like for example, let's say in 2015, 20% of the public bought iPhones. In 2016, this increased by 25%. So in 2016, what percentage of people bought iPhones? 25%. Yeah. So just so you know, there is a quick way to increase by a percentage. So for example, if you want to increase by here 25%, so this is the answer, you multiply by 1 plus the percentage. So that means you multiply by 1 plus 0.25. So you multiply by 1.25. So this is how you increase by 25%. So let's check that out. If we take 20% and we multiply it by 1.25, we get 25%. So I usually do it this way. But I know you probably learned in elementary school, you know, if you want to increase by 25%, what you first must do is get 1% and then multiply it by 125, or maybe actually what you probably did in middle school was first you multiplied by 25 over 100, maybe something like this. No, sorry, yeah, something like this. What does that equal? 5%, and then you add it on to make 25. That's fine too, okay? But for the next lesson, it's actually easier if you try to think about it as a multiplication by a number. Okay. So let's see. Let's give you one a little bit more difficult. Have you done market share with Mark? Yeah. So let's say Apple has a, I don't know, what percentage share would it have of laptops? Probably a lot. 20%? Apple has a 25% share of the laptop market. Its share increases by 5 percentage points, and it sees its market, what would you call it, market size, is it? What would you call how much the market's worth? Market value? Market size? Market size. And it sees its market size increase by, let's say, I don't know, $1 billion US.
You mean the laptop market as a whole, or?
No, just Apple's market share, yeah. So, my question now is, how much is the market worth? So I'll give you a minute to try and think about that and work it out. How much is the market worth?
Is the market size of Apple?
No, sorry, the total market size. No, sorry. It sees its share increase by $1 billion, not the market. It's how much of the market it
Apple
has. Yeah.
So it's like the market share of Apple.
Yeah. I should have said market share here. Market share. Oh my goodness, what the heck is happening? What? Okay. Yeah, that's market share. How much is the market worth? Yeah, every time I say share, I should really say market share. So I'll just put in market share, market size. Yeah, okay. Any answers? Not yet. How much? Say again? Yes. 20 billion. Okay, because you basically know that 5% of the market is equal to 1 billion. So that means 1% of the market is equal to 0.2 billion if you divide by 5. So 100% of the market is equal to 20 billion. Okay, have you got that? Okay, I want you to try it again, and this time the only difference is I'm deleting the word points. So now it's actually quite different. Try again. So the question now is the same, except just delete points. So it's Apple has a 25% market share of the laptop market. Its market share increases by 5%, and it sees its market size increase by 1 billion. I don't feel like market size is the right word. It's something.
No, it's not right.
Yeah, what is it then? You tell me. You're the business student.
Market share.
Still market share?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Market size is total.
It's the total, is it? Alright. So I should total market share, yeah? Yeah? Let's try it, yeah? So, at the beginning it has 25 or 20, I forget. 25. So at the beginning it has 25% of the market.
But increased by 5%, so it will be.
Yeah? Well, we don't know how much this is worth. Okay? Now, it then its share increases by 5%, so that'll be 1.05 times 25% of the market. And also we don't know how much that is. But what we do know is the difference. We know how much of an increase it was from here to here. I think it was $1 billion. Yeah? So what is this here? 26.25? 25, yeah? So if you look at how it's changed, you can see that 1.25% of the market, that
1 million.
equals 1 million, yeah. Yeah, so then the answer will be 1 divided by 1.25 multiply 100, because this gives us 1% of the market. So what is that number when you multiply it out? What's it like, 80 or something? 80, is it? Yeah. So the answer here is 80 billion. What was the last answer? Yeah, see how big of a difference it is because of the word point. Okay, so to be very careful about that in the exam. Yeah. Okay, another thing just to show you. Yeah.
You discover how much is 1% is 1 divided by the difference. What it is 1 over...
I did 1 divided by this.
Yeah.
That's 1%. Yeah, and then I multiply it by 100 to make 100%. Yeah. To the question. Yeah. Its market share increases by 5%. Why? What did you think it said? Okay. Continue. Yes. Another important thing when we're dealing with percentages is the idea of an error. Percentage error. It's how much of a mistake you made in your calculations. Sometimes I think we have in positive and negative, but I don't think I care too much if it's positive or negative here. Do I? No, I guess I don't care. It's the difference between the true value minus the estimated value over the true value times 100%. And we usually don't care about the signs. So I'll have an example. The type of question you might get is estimate this by rounding, and then the B part will be calculate the percentage error. Okay, so for the A part, what I mean by estimate by rounding is, I should have said rounding to the nearest 10. So this would be roughly 20 times 20 over 10, which would be 40, because that will cancel that, and that would be 40. Yeah? Now, of course, 40 is not the right answer. So what is the right answer then? What is the true answer? What is it? 46.444. Okay. So the percentage error would be 6.4, because that's the difference between the true value and the estimated value, divided by 46.4 times 100. Well, what percent is that now? About, what's that? 3 over 20, 15, 16%? What is it? Can you calculate, please? Don't just sit there looking at me. 13.8. Yeah. So this lesson is really just more of a revision from middle school percentages and practicing just being careful with the English. I think I'll just do... I'll do one more example.
Around like
Oh, I didn't say it in the question, but I should have said round to the nearest 10. The nearest 10. Two significant figures, I guess. No, sorry, one significant figure, I guess. To the nearest 10. To the nearest 10. I didn't say it in the question, though.
When we are going to use this like estimate?
You're not. It's good to be able to estimate things quickly in your head, and it's good to know when you do things like this what type of mistake you are likely to make. So rounding to the nearest 10 is likely to make for these types of problem, an error of about 10%. It's more just practicing percentages. I'll give you one here now. Have you learned about VAT in Ireland? You have, yeah? So what's the VAT rate in Ireland? What is it? 20... Is it 21 or is it 23? I know it changed. Maybe it was 21, but it could be 23 now. What did I say it is in the book? 21, okay. We'll go with 21. And let's say a coffee is sold for €2. I want to calculate what was the VAT. So I want to know what's the VAT. And the VAT rate is 21%. Not 42 cents. You all fell for the trap. No, not 42 cents. It's actually less than 42 cents. It's more like maybe 40 cents maybe. Okay, you all
like the price of selling it, is it included the VAT or not?
Oh, you know how it works in Ireland. The price something sold for includes the VAT. 1.65? No. That's, I want the VAT. You need to do 2 minus that. 31? 0.31? 0.41? 0.35?
Yeah.
0.35, yeah. So look, be careful here. It's important that you understand that the €2 is equal to the price with the VAT. So that means the €2. Do you have a special word for before the tax is added in business? We'll just call it pre-tax, will we? So the €2 is the pre-tax plus the VAT. Yeah. So the €2 is 100% of the pre, but then you want to add on 21% of the pre-tax price. In other words, that €2 is 121%. It's not 100%. The tax has already been added. It's 121% of the pre-VAT price. So we need to divide by 121, and we get 1%. What's that, please? 0.0165, yeah?
Why you don't divide by 1.21?
1.21? It's the same?
Yes, same. Look,
Oh yeah, it's fine, yeah, you could do that. I'm taking a longer route. So that means 1% is this. So then 100%, well, I don't want 100%. How much do I want? I want 21% because that's the VAT amount. I asked for how much the VAT was, not how much the original price was. So 21% would equal 21 times 0.0165, 0.35.
yeah.
That's the VAT. Now you can check if that's right, because if you take that away, it means the original price was how much before the VAT? 165. So you can check, if I multiply this by 1.21, what should I get? I should get €2. If I do, it means everything is right. This is the pre-tax amount is 165, and the VAT is 35 cents. Yeah? Yes? The way you were saying, the other way to think about it, let's call the original price X. After the VAT is added, or how do you increase by 21%? You multiply by 1.21. So this is the old price, this is to increase it, and what should it equal? It should equal 2 euros. So as you said, the old price is 2 euros divided by 1.21. So that is 1.65. That's the old price. So that means therefore the VAT,
2 minus.
it must have been 2 minus 165, so it must have been 35 cents. That's another way to think about it. What's wrong, Junwei? No, there must be something wrong. You couldn't be that happy with percentages. What's wrong? You really are that happy with percentages? Glad of that. Okay. Did you write this down now? So you can do it this way if you like, or you can do it this kind of longer way, whichever appeals to you more, whichever makes more sense. Okay, let's have a look. Now the next lesson continues with percentages, but it's more difficult. So this is kind of just a warm-up. But you could get something like this in the exam. But these definitely would be, short section A questions for like 2 marks. But you could get something like this in the exam. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I think 10 minutes is enough time, and then we'll start the next lesson. These questions you might even get them all finished in 10 minutes. Page 54, please. Can I close this?